Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a April 30th edition of the MSP Initiative MSP Talk. That's right. It is the end of the month. Hopefully everybody got everything in and closing all their last minute deals. And here we are going into almost summertime. May is like that slippery slope into vacation time. June, July, August. So buckle up, guys. We are right into the thick of the year. So mspinitiative.com. This is where everything that we do should be listed online. You'll definitely see this session, which is being recorded, posted to our podcatchers, our YouTube page, and the sessions tab on mspinitiative.com. So however you want to, download that, feel free. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We keep doing this so that you can keep up with things that are in the sandbox. We completed our very first MSP Community Minds of the Year in Nashville. I'm sure we'll be posting pictures if we haven't. And this was really great content, guys. We had a bunch of MSPs on panels. We had like 4 or 5 really solid MSP panels, just hearing from the people that are in the trench like you. We had some workshops as well where we had experts from around the industry run at least 2-hour workshops where they got into more than death by PowerPoint. We wanted you to get past the concept of something and into the actual application of it. So this was so well received. If you go online and check out how the Nashville one was constructed, we are moving forward with the next one, which will be in Denver at the end of September. We're going to change the dates. There was originally supposed to be in July, pushing it out to September to kind of line things up a little bit better. But we are excited to get the second one off this year. Totally educational event. Thank you for everyone who came out. We had a really great audience, and for the co-sponsoring vendors that helped put this together and make this happen. Thank you for making it happen. A little bit of a different format than a traditional MSP, kind of trade show style event, and that's what we were after. So moving on, and probably what everybody knows is better for is the MSP community block parties and after parties. We have 2, not 1, but 2 coming up next month in June. Happen to be the same week, just on different parts of the, on different sides of the ocean. Well, we'll be doing a block party with the PAC Beyond conference in Denver the week of, I believe that'll be on June 10th. So that's the second night of the conference, and we'll be whipping something together here. We're in the final stages of actually announcing that. And then we'll also be going back to Datto Kaseya in Dublin. We were there last year, coming back again this year and doing a repeat of our block party there. And that'll be later on that week for everybody on the European side. So definitely hit these 2 landing pages up, free register. If you've been to a block party, if you're already registered ahead of time, that just gets you into the door faster and, gets you enjoying the event better. Again, these are absolutely free for you to attend as an MSP. Drinks are on all of the vendors that are kind of throwing in to make this happen. So please join us. And we do also have some community offers on here. These are just vendors from around the space that threw some deals up. And then we have our industry calendar, which should go to the end of the year to give you an idea of what's going on every single week of the year. So you can figure out what's happening out in the space and whether you want to join or not. So that is everything you'll find at mspinitiative.com. And that is all of our housekeeping. And now we'll get to our guest for today on the podcast, Tom from Coro. How you doing today, Tom?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you said you're out of Chicago, so I see the backdrop there. So hopefully the weather's getting a little bit better for you out there.
Yeah, it was nice this weekend, and like you said, we're heading into that summertime where Chicago's a great fun city.
100%, especially when you get out in the water a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Bears Stadium rendering that I saw they put up last week?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And I think it'd be better for Chicago if they kept that downtown. But there'll be a lot of fighting over that for tax money and stuff like that out there. So, but it looks fantastic.
Wow. Looks like I may have froze, but I'm going to keep going. Yeah. So, obviously, we were hearing that they were going to move that Bear Stadium out to the suburbs. So, if they're going to keep it on the waterfront, I think that's good for everyone.
Agreed.
100%. So every time I have somebody new on the show, we kind of love to hear everybody's personal journey into technology space, so that we learn where you came from and how you got to where you are now, and gives us a little bit better idea how what your path was.
Well, I've been in the channel space. It's going to age me, over 30 years. You know, I started back in the days when it was just long distance for nationwide carriers running channel teams. You know, channel is my passion. From there, I got into after that, I got into working for some CLEX, Global Com that became First Com, started their channel program from scratch, and did the development of from PRIs to data into the UCAS and all that stuff. And then I went to another CLEC called Access One. I ran their channel and really kicked off turning them from just a CLEC into a full-fledged MSP, and also we got a meta switch and became a hosted company. And I've been with the same CRO, Jim Tarantino. This is going to be our fourth company together. We've known each other for 22 years. So he called me up 3 years ago and says, I got this great opportunity. It's a cybersecurity company, one of the most exciting ones out there, and there is no channel. So kind of my expertise is I like to go out and build channel programs from scratch. We've been extremely successful here. That's why I'm talking to you. I really launched the channel here a little over 2.5 years ago, and we're just doing great. And we're a large part of the revenue here at Coro.
One second, just switching. Tom, can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. Cool. So you've been around, you've been around the sandbox for some time. What makes a successful channel program in your opinion, right? Like, obviously you've done this several times. What works, what doesn't? You tell us what you've seen, are the winning points here.
I think one of the biggest things is you got to be easy to work with, knock down those barriers, be a true partner. And that's what we really focus here on Coro. And I'll get into that a little bit later, but, give them all the resources they need, be there to do it. When you got a couple different, channels out there, you got, of course, the MSPs out there, that you guys deal with mainly. And, we do resell for them, but with the amount of funding our company's had, we can give you a ton of assets. So really be easy to work with, make it a simple product that they can understand and give them all the resources to do it. And that really creates a true partnership. And the other thing is, when I deal with an MSP, I'm not just here for you guys to use our product, which we think is great, but I'm more here to help you build your business, have that business discussion on how can we help you build your business, get more customers, make more money. And when you can get into those conversations, you really create what I call a true partnership.
No, that's great. I mean, so obviously you started your path on the telco side. What have you seen are the major differences between how, like the channel is a very big word, right? There's different channels, different parts of the sandbox. What's so different between telco and MSP in your opinion?
Really, I mean, it's not a lot. It depends. For an MSP, you need to have a security stack, and what security is, and most people know what it is. But on the telecom side, you got all the TSBs out there, which we work with all of them too. So not only do we have that agent referral, we resell to the MSPs. And when you're getting into that, agent referral business, through the Avants and Telarus's and those Sandler and those type of companies out there, they represent everything. They're a trusted advisor for their customers. So on the telecom, they need people like us to help them make the sales. They'll make the introductions, but we make the sales. And you got to, again, be really easy to work with. But they're more doing a whole array of products from UCAS to network and all that type of stuff. So they're not an expert at anything, but they can make those introductions where we come in and really do the selling for them and help them really focus on the right customers.
So I mean, this has been talked about for a long time, although I think it may have been exaggerated, Tom. Are you seeing that big of a crossover or meshing between both sides of those aisles, or are you still seeing a really definitive path between one versus the other?
No, they're completely crossing over. Let's go back in the history a little bit. The typical agent who's a referral agent who works for the TSPs, They might have started, with long distance, then it went to, network, internet connections. And then the big push for the last 8 years has been UCaaS. Well, now all the TSPs are pushing security. That is the next thing on the horizon because they want to keep being able to keep selling to their existing customer base. So therefore, they on the agent side, they're all getting into selling security. They want to learn it. Right now there's only about a 10 to 20% penetration. The same thing on the MSP side. I have a lot of companies I work with who are selling, UCaaS to the MSPs. The MSPs are getting into UCaaS. They also want to get in and, make money off that network and all that. So a lot of MSPs, not only do they work with these master agents where they can make a commission out there off of selling, an SD-WAN network or a UCaaS product. So they are completely meshed together. And then the other thing that we're doing here is we're looking for carriers that we can integrate our product with. A lot of UCaaS carriers, even if you look at the big guys, the AT&Ts, they're all into security, the Verizons, the T-Mobiles, everyone is getting into security. So that's where I see these things meshing together.
Interesting. Are you, like security, is viewed more of a technology service than just electricity or plumbing, right? So how are you, seeing, the positioning of this, especially from you're an agent, you're in telco land, you kind of just hand it off to somebody else and they figure it out. Whereas if you're an MSP, you're really hands-on. There's two different lines of thinking there. How is this different than when you're talking about security?
Well, look, and right now, if you're an MSP and, a lot of guys who are break fix now are getting into it, if you don't have a cybersecurity stack, you're really not an MSP. So it's essential for your business to have a cybersecurity stack. And really what we've seen the problem out there is almost everything that was built for cybersecurity, for MSPs was made for enterprise. Because, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't think the SMB and middle market would be under attack. Now they are, and that's the customers of an MSP. Even though a lot of MSPs might help out an enterprise and part of their stuff, typically, the typical MSP, they're the whole outsourced IT staff. So that company is relying on their MSP to give them a security stack. Then what happens is, when you add those expensive tools up, there's like 4 or 5 tools you'll need to manage the whole landscape. It becomes very expensive. So when you go to a 100 or 75 user company and say you're going to charge $35, $40 a head for security, they might pass on it. And then that puts the MSP in a bad spot because there was a survey done that even if you don't take their security stack and they get hacked, they're going to sue their MSP. So 70% of the people said, I'm going to sue my MSP. And you're going to say, hey, I offered it to you, you didn't want it. So really, where I think the future is going out here, we can talk about this a little later, is consolidation. We need to have something for the SMB and middle market that they can afford and an MSP can deliver to them.
100%. So talk to us a little bit about Coro. From an MSP standpoint, Coro is still pretty new brand or company, right, to the sandbox. So
yeah, you're going to see that changing fast. Okay, a little bit about us. We are probably the fastest growing cybersecurity company in the world. Over the last 2 years, we've received $250 million in funding, and it's because of our product. Our product was made, and these are some of the biggest VCs out there that took like Darktrace public and people like that. So our product was made for the SMB and middle market. And what we have is this modular security product that has over 14 modules in there, from endpoint to email to SASE to zero trust to mobile device management, everything in one simple platform. And the unique thing why we're taking off is because this thing can be managed by a tier one tech. So for an MSP's perspective, the reason they're coming on, and we've signed up a ton of MSPs, and you'll see us at the shows, and we're winning a lot of awards, is because they can have one dashboard, and it's more not just the module, it's the platform, one platform that's got everything they need to cover their clients, for an easy to manage and affordable rate. And then we have a US-based SOC that can manage it for them. So, you can imagine if you're an MSP out there and, you got 5 or 6 really high paid guys who got to manage, your Sentinel ones and your Cloud Strikes and all that stuff. You can imagine if you could do that with one guy or 2 guys and let those guys do other stuff for you and at a much better rate that your customers can afford. So they think recently Goldman Sachs, who was looking at investing in us, gave us an A+ rating to dominate the SMB and middle market because that's what our product was made for. Why does an MSP exist? Because somebody has a lean IT team. That's what we're all about. So when, not only on the agent referral side, we're simple and easy to understand because, security blows people's minds away. So that's we got the funding, we're growing, we're focused on North America, even though we're reaching in with the recent $100 million funding round we got about a month ago. We're going into Europe pretty strong this year. So we are worldwide. Most of our technology comes out of Israel. That's where our R&D is, but we're US-based company. We have a huge sales office in Chicago where we took over the whole 13th floor right next to Union Station, as I'm in Chicago now. So no, I recommend people to come check us out. Go to our website, coro.net. Reach out to myself or my team. We have a full team of close to 20 channel managers out there, there to help you. And really, I would say the biggest thing I can bring to this thing, like I mentioned earlier, when you deal with Coro, we have so many assets that we can help you grow your business, from our whole marketing team that will put a marketing plan together for you. We'll have BDRs that will set appointments and do stuff for you. We have sales reps to help you sell. We have a dedicated, engineer to your account. So because we have this funding, we can offer resources that really our competition doesn't offer. And it's all about not just using my product, which we think is great. It's more about us coming up with a go-to-market plan to help you grow your business. I mean, you got companies out there like a Robin Robbins. I mean, her whole company is based on helping MSPs grow their business. I mean, you guys do a lot of that also at MSP Initiative. You're out there trying to help them grow. We have the tools to give to you, and we'll map out that plan, for whatever level you come on. We have different stuff we can give you, but you won't get any of these assets from the competitors out there.
No, I mean, listen, it definitely sounds interesting. I mean, so let's talk about the program for a little bit, because as you can imagine, this topic goes far and wide around, especially venture backed or private equity backed companies, right? Like there seems to be a blueprint that everybody follows, right? Hey, there's a minimum, there's a 3-year contract, like there's all these kind of stipulations, right, to how you do business with the partner. So I'd love to understand like the plumbing of how the program works from your side.
Okay. So like I said, we want to be really easy to do business with. So, we have a reseller agreement for the MSP. And we typically, our lowest package we like to start with is a 75 package. That comes with a price. And we have the modules and the bundles, and I'll get into that. But they're very inexpensive. You're talking about $2 a module, like for email endpoint and all that stuff. So you can either, pick these individual 14 modules and plug and play where you want for every customer. It's really easy. Or we have some preset bundles that are really attractive out there that can give you like email endpoint, data governance, and everything all in one bundle. We're selling that for, around $350. And then what happens is, as soon as you get the 75 on, or you want to start at 250 or 500 or 2,500, we have different price points for you. The price keeps going down the more you do. We even have a pay-as-you-go for the people who just want to put their toe in the water, and it's month to month. We really don't like that, because we're not going to give you all these great assets we have. We want you to at least start with a 75 pack. We give everyone complete proof of concept. We give every customer you can put on for 30 days and then just take them off, and then they don't pay. So every customer gets 30 days free. We give you 30 days free for everyone you put on. So therefore, if you want to charge them right away, that's up to you as an MSP. And like I said, we have the channel managers who will sign you up and, put you through the demo and put you on trial. You can do your technical proof of concept. Then after that, hopefully we come to an arrangement of where you want to start. And, depending on the price level, depending the size of your MSP. And then after that, we get you a growth manager who's going to help you put users on, maybe help sell stuff. Then we give you over to our marketing department that'll put a go-to-marketing plan for you. I mean, a lot of MSPs don't have a marketing team. We have a complete portal through Exemplify that has all the material in there with preset campaigns, webinar in a box, all that type of stuff. But we also have what's called a partner marketing manager who's going to sit with you and plan that. And these are just some of the assets we do in the program, but it is a tiered approach that you can start where you want, and we're going to help you grow it and add more and more. And that's kind of a quick overview for it. Now, we also do have a strategic team, and we're pretty much focused on MSPs that are like 7 million and above. And we have some really great plans for them with marketing funds, sales folks, BDRs, and all this stuff that we come to some type of a commitment with, which has been a big hit. We've been able to land some of the biggest MSPs out there, and it's been a really good thing for us to increase our revenues fast.
So when you say the packs, right, 75, 500, 2,500, endpoints, people, seats, how do you define it?
It's really what I'm saying, that it's one of those modules. So you could just put an email. You could put and then add the EDR and then the MDR, or the bundles, they come in, like we have like 4 bundles. So it's more end user, because what we want, the end user is going to need an endpoint. Maybe they're under contract for their current endpoint, so maybe they just go with their email. Maybe they just want to use our SASE product, and the DNS filtering or the zero trust or the cloud-based firewall.
I was about to say, you said there's 14 modules and you kind of been like trickling through them, right? Could you just spell them out? What are the 14 things to choose from?
Okay, I might miss one or two. But we have email, endpoint, EDR, data governance, endpoint data governance, the cloud-based firewall, the zero trust network, the mobile device management, and there's another SASE product in there. And so I don't have all 14 off the top of my head, but I was pretty close. I can probably pull it up when I hear it.
So let me zoom back and just try and make sense of this. Is the position of Coro, hey, we know you need security, you need security, that the landscape, it's only going to get worse. You could either play the game of find different vendor in every placeholder and try and manage it, which is difficult, right? To your point, lean, right?
Yeah.
Not enough talent. Or you're like, hey, listen, I have all of the products, and theoretically you'll add more over time. I have all of the categories covered under one company, under one vendor.
Yes.
And so you have 2 options. You can pick and choose what you need, and you just only turn that on, you only pay for that. Or, hey, if you're in a position where you can adopt the whole stack and have it all in one place, do that.
Yep. And so we're about to launch the pricing where you can have all 14 for a price. We're about to launch that. We haven't done it yet, because right now you can buy the bundles. And the way I look at the way we're set up is, it's like, you could go to the buffet and we got 14 things in the buffet and pick and choose what you want. Or we have what's ordering off the menu is we have 4 preset bundles. One's a SASE bundle, one's an endpoint bundle, one's called Coro Essential. It's got a little bit of everything in there. And then one's an email bundle. So we have those 4 bundles pre-made. And when you go into the platform, I mean, you'll see it all in there. It's really easy. Now, we're different than other companies. These aren't other people's products. This is all homegrown by us. Okay. And that is unique. The only thing that we have in there is we put a little bit in our endpoint of a Bitdefender's Gravity engine. And because it's just the AI in there, but it is still our endpoint, and it's our EDR and all that stuff. And then every one of those modules or things can be managed. So you just click a button, manage it, and we manage it for you. And that's an additional cost, of course, but not like we're doing a $1 per module. And I think it's $50 per bundle. So the management fee is pretty good. And then
Hmm.
you can, and that's on a month to month. You can add it in, take it off. Maybe at the beginning you want us to manage it until you get to learn it, but it is very simple out there.
Interesting. All right. So almost all your stuff, right? Minus a couple pieces. Cool. 14 modules. You can pick and choose. There are bundles. Got it. How does and you said you can manage it. So like you have your own SOC team behind the scenes that can effectively monitor for events and figure out what needs to be done in the moment. And then do you take point on anything that comes through and then the MSP just you'll tell them afterwards, or how integrated are they in that that conversation?
Well, we like to work and notify the MSP, so we can kind of be like the behind the wall sock. But if they want us to interact directly with their customers, we can do that as well. But it just depends on what the MSP wants. The MSP might want to look like they are, big. They got their own sock, and we'll be that. And let's be clear, we're the sock for our product only. We're not doing all the other stuff out there. So, and that's important, for them to, get new customers. So just how they want to explain it to their customers, we can work either way. We're very flexible. That's one of the things that we're with our program. We're flexible. We got good pricing, and if we got to win a deal, we'll work around to get that done.
Got it. So what do you? I mean, it sounds like you have from a positioning standpoint, sounds great. But what happens when you're, and it sounds like you'll be there, but let me give you the scenario. MSP is going into an opportunity. Let's say it's a slightly larger account. Let's say they have CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike's a household name, right? Like it's a big name in the space. How do you compete against those brands, right? Coro's relatively newer, right? So how does that conversation go?
Well, if you ask my CEO, he thinks we're going to outsell SentinelOne and CloudStrike this year. Now, that's on my head to do, and that's a really aggressive target. But we're exploding out there, as far as our branding. We're going to be a household name. I tell a lot of MSPs, if you're not with us now, you will be, with the amount of funding. And I mean, they announced our funding on the NASDAQ board. We're in with Gardner. We're building some different categories over there. And if anyone was at the channel partner show, we had like $1 million booth. My one of my it's very interesting. Our CMO, he's one of the founders. SentinelOne always had a really cool big tree booth that they used to have. So he found their company and said, "I want to build a better booth," and we did it. We're going to be a black hat in a great position this year. I'll be out there, and you're going to see Coro everywhere. We're doing a lot of digital ads out there, and when we get prospects and stuff like that, and even for some of the MSP customers, we could digitally do that type of stuff and nursing campaigns. So the word's spreading, and from where we've been to where we are now, and with all the funding, we're going to be a household name. So
Okay, let me go the other way on you.
okay,
So it wasn't too long ago, Microsoft themselves got jammed, right? Like their executive emails got hit.
yeah,
The argument is there too many eggs in one basket problem here, right? Like Microsoft has all these security products you can get from them, right? Sentinel, not to confuse with SentinelOne, but they have something called Microsoft Sentinel, all this EDR technology, all this security, right? That they try and sell you as part of the 365 stack.
yeah.
Didn't really help them for some reason because they got caught with their pants down. How do you fight 14 modules, a lot of stuff. Why would I want all of that in one place?
Okay, so before we went to the module approach, we had what was called an all-in-one product where we just had 5 things. We had, data governance, endpoint, email, cloud apps, and Wi-Fi. And when we had that theory, because it's all based on AI learning. So when you have different tools in there, so let's say you have, and I'm not going to talk about the Microsoft because theirs is more siloed, but the fact is, all our things are talking to each other. So if an email gets through, it could be caught by the endpoint, so it's talking to each other, and we're going to have more visibility compared to managing 5 different tools that are just doing one task, and then they can't catch on the other thing. So with our platform is based on AI learning. So with all that in there, we can catch other stuff. So you're almost better in one platform than being all over the place. One thing about Office 365, and I'm not an expert there, but their products are very siloed, so it takes a while to set it up. I mean, the good thing about Coro here is I can get you launched in 5 minutes or less. Like we used to say, because we have an API into Microsoft and into Google. And then we also have one of our products, I forget, which is our gateway product, which allows us to do exchange and everything else for email and that type of stuff. So, we can spin this up in a matter of minutes, and then the endpoint's easy to deploy. And that's the beauty of it, just the ease and the fact that you could turn somebody on that fast. And then what you'll find from your clients here, it's a land and expand. So let's say, for example, a lot of times the MSP customer wants to be part of the platform. They want to have visibility into it, well, they're going to see all these other modules in there, and they're going to call you up and say, hey, well, I want this, 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 and this. And so it's kind of a land and expand. You start with Coro, and then you can expand, and you get that good experience.
Interesting. Is it really only 5 minutes? That's 14 different solutions in your stack.
Well, so to launch the basic thing, like I can launch the email solution because of the API in there. I could hit an endpoint out, but it really is just clicking a button and launching it in there. So, to get an initial trial going, like we'll probably put you on one of our bundles that has endpoint email and everything in it, just so you can try it out and see how it works. Launch that in 5 minutes, maybe a couple minutes more to do the endpoint out. But yes, it is that easy.
Wow, that's interesting. So obviously the MSP specific effort here is still really newer, right, to the company, right? Because you guys are doing a lot of things all at once, it sounds like. How far did you get into like integrations into the MSP tools, right? I know that's kind of a sticky topic that comes up often.
So right now with the PSAs, we're integrated with ConnectWise. We have that in there. And we also have Gradient, who's integrated with a bunch of other people. We're in the process of adding, Autotask and the rest of them out there. But you can get there through Gradient if you wanted to, because they represent all of them. But we do have ConnectWise done. I will be going down to IT Nation coming up here in June. So we'll be there. If anyone's stop by and see us, we'll be down there. We do have that, and we're going to have all the integrations. So we're working on that as we speak, but
Awesome.
a couple of them done already.
So just to be clear, there's like 100 events underneath IT Nation. You're talking about IT Nation Secure, which is coming up in June. So guys are Googling it, IT Nation Secure. I think they're still accepting people. I think I just saw the other day that you could still sign up if you want to go. If you're interested in being in Orlando in June, check it out, IT Nation Secure. Just Google it. There is also IT Nation Connect, which is at the end of the year in November, right? That's a bigger one too. So I just want to make sure people are following the right path. So you go to be at IT Nation Secure, which is great. I've actually never been to an IT Nation Secure for one reason or another, but doesn't mean I won't make it there one day. Been to IT Nation Connect, I guess, since 2014. That's the one everybody usually gathers around on, but all good.
And then one other thing is we do have an API that we can connect into almost anything. So, we've had some, tech partners put their product into ours. A real good example of that is like this Comply Auto, where they're out there dominating the automotive space. That's really, if you run into it, Coro's in the middle of that. They put Coro in there. We integrated in with the API, and they're putting on hundreds of thousands of users in the automotive space. So we can do that type of stuff out there as well. That's why we're looking to get into with carriers, tech partners, all kinds of angles out there. So,
wow, that's interesting. How many active MSPs would you say you have on the program right now?
250, right around.
Okay. And so you got to 250 in what period of time?
Well, in about 2 years, and I started with myself and a channel manager. Now I have 3 VPs and 20 channel managers. Now, some of them are focused on the agent side and not the MSP side. So we have 2 programs. We're dealing with all the TSBs, if everyone's familiar with those out there. But really, 70% of our revenue is coming from signing up MSPs, and we have channel managers who are, signing up 1 to 2 a week.
That's cool. So you guys are definitely like head into it. So, but is there a direct sales force as part of Coro's strategy? And if there is, how does that and the channel program?
Okay, so it's interesting. When I first got there, we were going to be 20% of the revenue, but due to the success in the channel, which I'm a channel veteran who just loves the channel. I think it's the only way you should sell. But so we're 85% of the revenue. Now we do have two small sales teams. They also help out with our larger committed partners to help them sell into their base. But we do have two small sales teams. We've had no conflicts so far. We're very generous. Like if an agent has an opportunity and our direct does, we do a split there. If we have an MSP, it's funny, I end up getting MSPs from some of our direct deals because the customer says, "Oh, I want to be with this Blue Equinox or someone like that." They're one of our partners. We we roll them over and work together. So we work more together than we do against each other, and it's not this dog-eat-dog cutthroat between direct and channel. This company is a channel-focused company, and that's where we're going to be.
I wish everybody had that story, Tom. Unfortunately, it doesn't always turn out to be the case, but I love to hear that early in your journey, the revenue split shifted the other one.
Well, I told him it would. The CEO didn't believe me. Now he's a believer. So we're doing great. And, like I said, we put a lot of resources behind it and we keep adding more resources every day. And those are resources that, all these MSP partners take advantage of. And that's one of the reasons why we're growing so fast.
No, I mean, listen, enablement's a word that's been thrown around for years, right? I mean, you're right. Sales and marketing for a lot of MSPs is not great. If anything, they're outsourcing it, and maybe the content they get back from the other side isn't super. The fact that you're building a marketing plan at the MSP level is definitely unique. And if you're handling that mostly in-house, I mean, I would say most channel companies don't have anything in place to handle that at scale, right? They'll talk about assets and things like that, but like from hey, let's meet with you, your team, what do you need, what can we give you to get going, it's really canned rather than hey, let's build a program with you to make you successful. So
yeah, and we have both. We have a nice portal out there that they can get all those marketing assets. They can do their campaigns from it. They can do social media, but then we also have a marketing manager to guide them by putting a plan together. We'll do some events, webinars, all that type of stuff. And the newest thing that's going to be rolling out here very soon is we're going to have certifications for all of our partners, which is really great. It's going to be, look, if you're just coming on as a small partner, you got to hit these 3 certifications. If you're going to do a lot, we want to make sure you understand no Coro, all that type of stuff. And, we're going to have it live and on demand, all in our portal for people to access out there.
That's awesome. So you mentioned one thing that I'm going to kind of roll into the concept of, you said events, marketing, and all this, whatever. So is it defined right now with 250 partners? Is there a definitive MDF program where you have to qualify in order to get to those resources, or how does it work?
Okay, like we'll give you some of the resources, like just to help you out, come up with the marketing plan, technically enabled. So right when you sign up, you get what's called a PIM, a Partner Enablement Manager, and they hook you up with our assets. Okay, do you need some help, sales help? Let us explain the product. We get you technically enabled, so your team knows how to put people on, even though it's easy and stuff like that. Want to make sure they know how to do it. And then we have the marketing, the introduction. Some people want it, some people don't. But then as you go up levels from 250 to 500, we run about on a 10% MDF. So we can do that, and you can earn it as you move up the ladder. And, you can pick what you want to do. We'll help host it or create the invites and all that type of stuff. So yes, we do have an MDF defined program. And then we really even increase that with some of our larger committed partners who really come all in on us. These are like the large MSPs that can see through the see through the trees to the forest, and they want to jump all in with us, which we've had some success with that.
So not to get too tangled into the terminology, but are you targeting MSSPs, managed service security providers, separately? Would they be considered more of your strategic targets than the standard MSP or IT service provider? Do you delineate between the two?
Yeah, I do. So I have one team, which is my strategic team, that focus on, we do it to make it easy in our thing. We do it revenue wise. So like 7 million and above, we're going to have that conversation. But if they just want to start down, with a smaller pack to try us out, that's fine, But we put our team after that. Everything else is done with our standard channel team. And so that's how we kind of divide it right now. As far as, I got some veterans who've been in the industry who know that, know it really well. And then all my MSP salespeople have come from a cybersecurity or MSP background. So they
Hmm,
understand what's out there, how to talk and help people out and come up with the right plan.
interesting. Um, and so just want to recap to like the beginning part of this call. There is a month-to-month option. So if you
Yeah.
don't want to get into a long-term thing, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there are options for term things if you wanted to go into it. I'm sure the pricing then changes, right?
Yeah, it goes up. So like, and really, right now the first level is just 75, and you're talking something that's, at that 75 level, it might be $2 a unit. It's not a big financial commitment. Hopefully what you've done is you came on, you tested the product, you put a customer on, you already got that 75 on, and you're good to go. That's what we want to do. And we want to have you get that 75 on in a 30-day period. So we want you to find the customer, and maybe you don't sign till you have a customer, you know what I mean, that want to do it, but you still have gone through the trial, you've gotten the technology win, your engineers like what we're doing. And so, that's how we kind of go through the sales process. We have a lot of BDRs who typically schedule an appointment for them, my channel managers. They come on and do basic discovery, just so they understand your business and see if we're a fit or not. And then if we are, we typically, set them up on some type of trial that they can do internally or with a customer or whatever they want to do, and it's a proof of concept. We also offer internal use licenses at a discounted price. I'll get into that. And we also offer NFR licenses. So we typically give you 5 licenses that you can play with, do demos with, do all that type of stuff. That's for free. But if you want to somehow protect your own MSP with us, we would give you like an internal use license for like $1 for all your employees. So we have
Hmm.
programs like that out there because we like, you want people to, if they're going to be selling it and know it, they should be using it themselves, or at least have that demo account to know, so they, feel good about it.
Okay, so that's interesting. I usually don't run into, hey, we have NFR and then we also have internal use at a discount, right? So like usually it's one or the other. So you basically are like, hey, we'll give you 5, right? Like that's like, yeah,
That's
open up
yeah,
the
that's for
door.
demos and stuff like that. Yeah. So,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
the internal use license, and some people like say, hey, I want to put my whole company on for a couple of months. All right, well, the first 30 days is free. And so for everybody, but if they want to keep it on, we could do something like on a month to month on that internal use until they want to use it. We find out people want both, especially the smaller MSPs. They go, hey, I want it for all my people. And I found out that just for legal reasons, if you're going to use it to protect your MSP, we need to charge you for it, because if something does happen, no tool's perfect out there, then um, everyone's covered legally and stuff. Because if oh, I just signed up for a free license, I protected my whole company with a free license given to me by Coro, so we don't want
Interesting.
that.
No, I
So
mean, listen, you're probably some truth to that. Have you, I know this is becoming kind of a newer trend that some of these cybersecurity platforms are going directly to the insurance companies that are doing the cyber policies and getting on their like approved list. Is that in the works?
yeah, we've already we're working with a couple firms now that are hooked up with they're our clients, and they're hooked up with insurance companies. And we've been approved by that to be put on. We'll work with any insurance company to get that approval. We have several MSPs who brought us into that. And so a lot of insurance companies out there now, if the MSPs can get in there, they'll pay you to protect them. So I've seen some insurance companies that are working with partners, and they pay them to do some like pen testing and stuff like that or whatever. So they make sure that, what they're insuring is insured. I mean,
Yeah.
speaking of insurance, it's a big topic out there. I would say, and a lot of MSPs are selling cyber insurance. And right now, what's happening out there in the industry, only I think it's they don't pay on close to 30% of the claims. And this is the insurance companies. And the reason they do that is because some guy might just check a box and say, oh yeah, we have all this stuff. And then when you get hacked, they go in to make sure that stuff was all there and turned on. right?
Mhm.
And so they, insurance companies, you think they're there to pay you. They don't know they're there not to pay you. You know what I mean? If they can't, because that's in the policy. So you find out that, and a lot of people rely on their MSP, like, hey, here's my insurance document, And so what we'll do here at Coro, if MSP sends it to me, I'll say, okay, we can handle these 6. You got to go handle the other ones to make sure you complete that checklist, because you don't want to be, if they have cybersecurity and you're their MSP, and then the insurance company says you didn't check all the boxes, that can be trouble.
Yeah, definitely. What isn't a good fit for you?
Well, I mean, some of the things we're not doing right now, we're not doing awareness. We don't do any pen testing and that type of stuff. We are a cloud-based platform, even though we do have the email for Exchange and stuff. It's mainly, all cloud-based and stuff. So, we're not doing some of that stuff. We're not doing any on-prem, anything like that. It's all cloud-based, a cybersecurity stack, which I talked about. But the other stuff that we do not do at this moment, but we're always looking for people who fit our, what we call kind of our company plan is, it's got to be simple and affordable and easy for the SMB and middle market. If it's not that, look, Threat Lockers are a great company, but it's not easy. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, even though we have all these modules in there, they're very easy, and that's where our brand is. We want to be easy to work with, a product that's easy, that can handle by tier 1 tech, and really I look at the whole industry out there, and this is what's happening. It's consolidation. I mean, right now you see I had a slide in one of my presentations where there's like 500 cybersecurity companies out there, and it blows people's mind. What do they do? So that's why they come to this, the MSP, like, help me out. You're my, I don't know this stuff. That's what keeps the MSP in business, and job security is cybersecurity. I mean, it's really helped because, they can't do it on their own. I got companies that I've seen that have 500, 1,000 employees, and I got like 4 IT guys. I mean, and they're drowning. So,
Well, I mean, to some degree, right?
yeah,
Some MSPs trying to oversubscribe their people too, right? They try and
yeah,
hope automation saves them, but
yeah,
on a bad day, right? If all their customers got hit at once, I'm hitting wood here.
yeah.
It's a bad day for them too. But I get what you're saying. Um, any plans at distribution relationships? Is that in the works?
Oh, 100%. We plan on doing it this year. We're already talking to several of them right now. And, we are ready for that right now to get into distribution. We will be doing that, and 100%. So,
All
yes.
right. So we'll stay tuned on that. And then, we already know you're gonna be at IT Nation Secure. Anything else in your kind of MSP event schedule for the year?
Yeah, I don't have top of my head. We were just at your show last week, so
MSP
thank
Community
you there.
Mind. Yeah.
And we plan on going to the PAX 8 show. We're going to go to the other channel partner show, and hit the ones in the fall. I just haven't locked in on those, but we should be hitting most of the shows. We're at Kaseya right now in Vegas. I got 3 people out there. So,
Well,
the name
I,
Coro
I, I was
is
getting text
growing.
messages about all the big announcements from
Yeah,
Kaseya. The ones that were so big, they're going to
yeah,
make the Datto acquisition be ginormous. No, or walk in the park. They said.
yeah. So we, we're always looking to add to this platform, something, like an awareness or something like that, but we got to find the right partner. And we're,
Yeah.
looking to continue to build it out. And, you'll see us at as many shows as you can. We're, one of the big things we want to do is get that brand name out there this year. So, it is, when they hear about us, it is Coro. People have seen us, they know us. And then we've gotten a ton of awards from G2, and we're working with Gardner to get, into the right spot there. But, the awards we got in G2 comes from customers using it, or
Yeah.
MSPs using it,
Reviews. Yeah.
And so that shows you that it's a good product, it works, makes people simple, and it kind of makes cybersecurity a little simple. Look, I come from a telecom background, and look at you quizzing me about cybersecurity. I think I did all right.
No, you did. I mean, You definitely, Tom, came like I said, I tell everybody who comes on to these shows, I'm not going to have you prepare for one thing because if you don't already know it, you're in trouble. So you came with everything in here, which is great. I think a lot of MSPs, and again, you got to 250, so that's awesome in 2 years, which is pretty good actually. A lot of MSPs tend to like sit back, maybe let other people, kind of play the first round of interaction, and then also, hey, you're going to be around, right? A lot of companies come in and then they don't stay, and then they go back, especially ones that come downstream from enterprise. So there's been a long history of just a little bit of a roller coaster through MSP land. The other thing is, does it work, right? I think a lot of MSPs necessarily, depending on size, right? Mileage varies, but do they have the time to adopt and onboard new vendors as frequently as they enter the marketplace? Probably not. So they kind of lean on other people in the sandbox to do some of the due diligence first and give it a go, so that by the time they come to it, I guess it's proven is the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys are really new. But I just got to be honest. Like, I get that a lot of the tech's coming out of Israel, but like, you have 14 categories of things
Well,
for a newish company. That's
well,
pretty
we
impressive.
did, we bought a SASE company. So, and that was
Okay.
a year ago. So
Okay.
we acquired a SASE company that wasn't homegrown SASE. It's the company that we acquired is very similar to like a Total or a Perimeter 81, very similar to
Okay.
that. So we acquired that. And it's funny, like, 2 years ago, our CEO probably would say like, "Hey, this is all in one. This is all we're going to do." But the all in one was great for a lot of people. But some people like, "No, I really love my endpoint. I want your other stuff."
Yeah.
So we launched, back in September, the modular approach, and that's when we put the SASE product in there. And so, and that's how we came out with all the stuff, because the other stuff we'd had for years in our all in one, based on the AI learning and all that type of stuff. So,
Got it.
so we just expanded on that. And again, because of our growth, we've had 300% growth year to year to year. And that's why two things they look at in these investors, you know, a unique spot in the marketplace. Like I said, everything was built for the enterprise. We build it for, and with vision out there for the SMB and middle market, which
All
is
right.
what.
So let me ask that question. Let me just define that real quick. Smallest end customer you can see on the platform, and where do you think it tops out at? Like, what's
So
that range, right?
I would say, like, we're not doing a lot of enterprise customers. We look at people who have 2,000 users and below is probably, where we are. I think our wheelhouse, the most I see a lot of them coming on, and I don't have the exact averages, but, anywhere from 50 to 75 to 200 to 250, those type of customers. That's really what a lot of MSPs are managing, those type customers out there.
That's
And
true.
then we got some who have 4 users and they put them on. You know what I mean? So like,
Okay.
it's all of the board.
Well, I mean, listen, that's why I asked that question, right? Because like every MSP, of course, when they start, right, they'll take anything, and then as they grow, they decide what's a good customer, what's a bad customer. But you do have people that have 4, 5, 6, 10 person accounts, and then all of a sudden there's a 200 person account, managed by the same MSP, right? It's all over the board. But it's good that you can go all the way downstream. I mean, so that, I guess the idea is that I should, if I can keep all of my different size customers in one platform, I don't have to diversify multiple vendors in the same space.
Yep, correct.
100%. Okay, very good. Tom, where do people find out more information about the Coro MSP program? They want to talk to someone, maybe see something. What's the best place?
All right. I would say, our website, you can go to our website, which is coro.net. Okay. CORO.net. And there's a lot of information on there about our product and stuff. And there's a page you can find to say request a demo and stuff like that. People can reach out to myself. I'm tom.turner@coro.net, and I will get you to the appropriate people. So those are probably the two best ways to get a hold of us. Or, as you go to the shows, come by the Coro booth, learn some more out there. We're out there. And then if you get a phone call from Coro, pick it up, because, we're reaching out to all these, we have a large reach out there with our BDRs, calling up and, booking a demo. Just check us out. You'll love it. It's a whole new approach. It can save you time and money and make sure all your customers are secure. Like our CEO once said, like, with these 14 modules, you can almost make yourself an instant MSSP. Now, I'm not a complete, that could be there's something like that, but it's kind of cool to have it all in one place. And I always tell people, if you're not with us now, you're going to be against us. So let's go down that path.
I love the confidence. I really do. That's awesome. Hey, we all learned something new about the company today, Tom. Thanks for coming on. I'm definitely gonna pay a little bit closer attention. I want to go figure out what the additional parts of the 14 are, but I'm sure they're on Coro.net.
Yeah.
Just again, I can't stress enough the fact that you have 14 different categories covered under one stack is pretty strong.
Yeah, we look at it, it's like it's now the future is consolidation, but it's a platform. It doesn't work anymore to have 5 or 6 tools you got to manage out there. You pay your people too much, it's too confusing, they don't talk to each other. We want to make it simple, make cybersecurity simple.
Fair. All right, Tom. Well, thanks for jumping on. We re-recorded this session. We're gonna send it out, on the speeds and feeds. But for everybody that was actually tuning in today, this session will be on mspinitiative.com under sessions. It'll be on all the podcatchers, the YouTube page. We'll actually send it out later on this week to the normal newsletter that goes out with all these sessions tagged on it. Check out Coro.net. Sounds like we're gonna see these guys on the road a lot. I know everybody's busy. What do you got to lose? It just sounds like it's a whole different packaging and offering. So if nothing other than pay attention to what's happening out there, right? So you know what's coming down the pipe.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Look forward to working with you guys in the future.
You got it. Have a good one. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.